Hello, everybody. I have a special guest. I'm going to say special guest because I've known Opti for way too long. Okay,
It's been a
way
while.
way too long. But guess what? I've watched him grow so much throughout the years, and he's also been a part of my journey heavily as a creator in a charity space as well. So I'm super excited and so honored to share his story today. So thank you so much for joining us and watching this new community spotlight. My name is Ashley, also known as Miss Ash Rocks, and I'm Tiltify's community manager. And we have Opti here. Opti, how are you
Hello.
doing?
Good. I've only just gotten out of bed, so it's a good start so far to the
Good
day.
good morning. I reached out to Opti. I said, "So what time works?" He said, 11 my time, 4 p.m. your time. I said, "Okay, we're starting early." I was ready to talk to him at 7 p.m. He's like, "No, we got this." I said, "Okay, sure. I'm fine with that." So we're just hanging out. We're gonna talk a little bit about his journey on Twitch, and he's on YouTube now, killing it there, and all the fun videos he's doing. So, Opti, if you could tell us a little bit about your content creation journey from the
Yeah.
start to now,
Oh.
we want to hear it.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Okay. So, hi, I'm Opti. I'm an Australian content creator. I primarily do The Sims nowadays. I started
Mhm.
way back in 2015. I'd not long had a PlayStation 4 at that time, so I decided to just kind of experiment because it was the first generation of consoles that had a streaming feature in it. So I decided that I'd been watching Twitch for a couple of months at that point in time, and I wanted to just kind of give it a shot, and I did, and I'm so glad I did because I've been doing it every week ever since then. I've been absolutely loving it, and I ended up upgrading all my equipment and things like that to get to where I am today. And I couldn't be happier because I'm getting to do something that I absolutely love to do every single day of my life. It's great, love it.
Absolutely. I'm so proud of you. I have to say that. Like, seriously, you just blossom into this grown man. I'm saying grown man because he started when he was under 18. Okay.
Yes,
Now he's a grown man and he's killing it. And I know there's something that you recently started with Xbox that
yes.
I wanted you to touch on. Can you tell us a little about
Yes.
that?
So, back in October 2022, I started a new role with Xbox, hosting their Xbox ANZ Rewind show, which is a show essentially covering all the news across Xbox, console, PC, and cloud gaming, and covering Game Pass as well. And we do that every single month here in Sydney, and it's an absolutely fun time. We just, I love shooting the episodes, and it's been an absolute blast to make so far.
Yes, absolutely. And did Xbox reach out to you for this opportunity?
No, they had applications available online, and I threw in an application thinking that I was nowhere near the person that they wanted for it, but, apparently I was. I was one of the
Yeah,
2.
absolutely. That's amazing. Congratulations. I can't wait to see where you
Yeah.
blossom from that role as well. I'm just so happy. I'm just so proud of him, y'all. You have no idea. I just, especially when it comes to fundraising. So, just a brief background I created Team Rock Squad. Opti was one of the managers, along with my other friend, Matt. And we raised a crap ton of money for charity. A crap ton. I can't give you a number right now, but I think it was close to $80,000
Yep.
as a team in just a year and a half, maybe 2 years. I don't remember anymore. That's been a while. But Akti, how did it feel to be a part of Team Rock Squad and be a part of something as powerful as that?
It was really, really awesome because, like, prior to that, I'd obviously done my own personal charity fundraisers and whatnot,
Mhm.
but to be on the kind of the other side of it and to help
Mm.
everybody else on the team and to organize it and just see something that we'd all put so much time and effort and just love into blossom and raise 80, $90,000, as you said, was it was really freaking cool. It was really awesome.
Yeah, I remember me and Opti would always create our campaigns together. We're like, okay, we're doing Play Live. Okay, we're doing Save the Children. Okay, we're doing Two Red Love in Our Arms. We would always fundraise together and raid each other all the time. I'm
Yep.
always the one raiding Opti because, he's always later than me. Always. I'm like, okay, we're going to
it's
Opti. We're going to Opti
it's
again. And we're going to Opti again.
it's only the time zone's fault, nothing else.
Yes. No, literally. Yes. But yeah, I've had a blast throughout my content creation journey being with Opti. And yeah, I just want to thank you for being a part of
Ooh.
that whole team process because that was something.
Mhm.
again, like he said, we put a lot of time and love and effort into that team, and we got some really good stuff out of it. So we got to manage and help people out to create their own campaigns. Like I think our whole entire team never, or at least 70% of them, they
Yeah.
never created a campaign. And we're like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to host a class. This is how you create your campaign and go from there. So, yeah, I just wanted to thank you again and give you your
Aw.
flowers because you're wonderful. And again, so freaking proud of everything you're doing because all of this that we've done together throughout the years made us to who we are today, especially
Yeah.
with me working at Tiltify now, which I never thought would happen. But let's talk about why fundraising is important to you.
Oh, man, there's so many reasons. There's so many
Give me
reasons.
give them all
Oh,
to me.
man. I remember my first fundraiser was 2018. We
Yeah.
were on Team Sin Squad together at that time, and I had always been inspired by everything that I'd seen from the team in the past. And, obviously, I had my own personal connections to the charity, such as St. Jude, and it meant a lot to be able to give back in some capacity in because my the impact within my own community was fantastic. You know, obviously having somebody in my chat and having a smile on their face when they laugh at something I do on stream is fantastic. But with charity fundraising, I feel like your impact is a little bit broader than that. It's to people that you don't necessarily know and they don't know who you are, but you're potentially changing their life for the better and improving whatever awful situation they may potentially be in or unfortunate situation, whatever it is. And that's it's really special to be able to do that to causes that are near and dear to me as well.
And what are some of your favorite causes you have fundraised for
Oh,
or the ones you resonate the most with?
Saint Jude's my big one. That's the
Mhm.
big like my biggest connection one. But I've also done fundraisers for To Right Love at Our Arms, Movember, Save the Children, all things that I
Mhm.
do feel really passionate about and that I've thoroughly enjoyed fundraising for over the years. But St. Jude's the big one with my biggest like connection and personal experience with cancer and stuff like that. So it's yeah, I love fundraising. Any chance that I get to.
Absolutely can relate. Yeah, cancer affects both of our families, personal levels tremendously.
Mhm.
But we get to use our online community and support those that are going through the same thing with their families and support those kids. And they don't have to see a bill ever, 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 ever. That's why I love St. Jude as well. So I believe, please correct me if I'm wrong, you were invited to the St. Jude Summit
In 2019, yes. Yes, I was. I got to
2019.
I got to visit in 2019. That was a life-changing experience.
Yeah.
I'd heard all the stories before about how emotional and how powerful it is, but you never really appreciate how emotional and powerful it is until you walk through the doors of the hospital for the first time, and then you really it hits you immediately. I remember walking into
Mhm.
reception and seeing the desks where you'd fill out all the paperwork and just thinking, that's where your life would change entirely. And it hit me, and that was such a powerful trip, and I'm so grateful that I got the chance to do it.
Yes, and whew, every time you come home, you're like, "Okay, I'm ready to fundraise. Let me
Yep.
create my campaign." I feel more motivated than ever. I love that they host those summits, and hopefully we can get to that point soon
Mm,
without the state of the world and COVID. But I just seeing those kids and seeing them smile, I'm like, "Wow, this is what we're doing. We're making these kids smile and be in a comfortable state to be with their families." And being with other patients too, playing video games and
yeah.
cooking and all that fun stuff. I will never forget I got whooped by 3 kids in Mario Kart. I came in last place. I said, "I am honored. Keep doing it. Whatever makes you happy." But yeah, the summit is a beautiful experience. If you can remember from 3 years ago, what was your favorite moment from the
My
summit?
favorite moment, oh, wow. I
Yeah.
think my favorite moment would have to be okay, it's not necessarily within the summit, it was my moment
Mhm.
when I was going home. I caught a cab to the airport, and, the cab driver asked me why I was an Australian in Memphis, like, what was I doing? And I told him, like, "Oh, yeah, I'm here for the St. Jude Summit and, like, to visit the hospital." And he's like, "Wow, that's so cool." And just to hear, like, because he was a local around Memphis and he
Mhm.
recognized the importance of what St. Jude was doing, and he went on about all these stories about people he knew, and obviously the hospital trip was really really special, and like getting to see the hospital and tour it and all the artworks was really awesome. But that moment of like, I know people dub it like this St. Jude moment when they go to the hospital. I think that moment going home was my St. Jude moment when I heard of like the impact that it had had on his life. Was just
Yeah.
heartwarming.
Yeah, absolutely. A local just picking you up to take you to the airport,
Yeah.
having, just feeling the same impact and just knowing that you are part of that impact from simply fundraising is just a beautiful moment. And I think we have to really thank Tiltify for making it easy. Not being
Mhm.
biased, but you could say I'm biased, okay? But Tiltify, they have grown so much over the years. And, especially with all the different features we have with the overlays and incentives, the targets, everything. And you've been using Tiltify for a while. So I wanted to ask, like, how is it fundraising with Tiltify? What does it mean to
Oh,
you?
like you said, it's so easy and simple, honestly. Like
Mhm.
if I didn't have a platform like Tiltify in my life, I think it'd be a lot harder to fundraise than what it is. Like
Mhm.
the ease of being able to create a campaign in like minutes is fantastic. It's all you just have to fill in the details. All you got to do. The incentives, the rewards, the targets, the challenges, the schedule. The schedule is one of my favorite features, by the way. Super underrated. I love that one.
Oh! Oh!
Super underrated.
We have never heard that before. Wow. Oh,
Because
wait
this
until
is
our team hears this.
there's a backstory to why I love that, because at that point in time when I was first using like Tiltify, virtually
Mhm.
nothing, being an Australian, virtually nothing I would put a time into would convert to international time zones for somebody using it on their end. Tiltify would do that and would make it so easy for somebody to
Let's
understand
go.
when my big charity stream would be. So it made life so simple, and I just love it very much.
Oh. Wow, that I'm just this is funny because nobody really talks about schedule and it's so important, right?
Yeah.
It's so important, especially for time zones. But even if you have special event streams, like, hey, I'm doing Just Dance this day, make sure you come over, make sure you donate and request a song. I'm always like, use it for your special events if you're not going to use it for each stream.
Yeah.
So everyone that's listening, time zones matter. Okay. Use the schedule. All right. Especially if you have different viewers in different areas. It's very important because it does automatically translate into your own time zone. Oh, Opti, you just made me so happy. It's,
I'm glad.
you have,
I'm glad.
I'm telling you, the first one that said that ever. So let's go. Let's go, team.
First for something, I'll take it.
Yes. Yes. And I wanted to ask, like, what would attribute most to your fundraising with your community?
I think going back to that point of like the causes that you care about, I think
Mhm.
it's pretty easy to identify when somebody cares about a cause that they're fundraising for. I think it's really really simple to do that, and I
Absolutely.
think like being able to share some kind of you may not necessarily have a personal connection, you may have a friend or you may have heard a story that inspired you or something, but just being able to
Mhm.
share that why as to why you fundraise, I think is really powerful to your audience and them helping you reach your goal for your fundraiser, because they need to understand that why as to why you're doing it.
And what are some examples of how you can share to your community why you're fundraising?
Well, let's take the example of St. Jude is the one off the top of my head. St. Jude was a really important charity before the last 12 months for me, but with mum's recent cancer diagnosis in March, April last year, it's really important to me to be able to then give a little bit back, because we ourselves got so much from the doctors and nurses here in Australia that I couldn't imagine having not having somebody there or a doctor there or support systems there, to help us out along the way. Because it's just so powerful. And the way you can share that why is by doing exactly what I'm doing right now, is sharing that personal connection, the things that you potentially benefited from in that situation or a friend did, or the way in which you were inspired to do so, to do your fundraiser, I think is really, really important.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you don't, again, if you don't have a personal connection to that cause, share other stories. And I think St. Jude, they do a really good job of giving you all the things you need to be successful in your fundraising. They give you the patient stories, they give you a whole toolkit of things that you need. And again, if you don't have that personal connection, just reach out to the cause, and reach out to the community team they have or social team, whatever it may be. Hey, I need help sharing stories or whatever it may be to really connect my community to my fundraising and make it successful. So I love that. Um, I think, like Opti said, it is super important to share why you are fundraising. Okay. You can't go up there and say, we're fundraising and just play your game. Okay. Why are you fundraising? Why do you want me to donate? You have to share these things with your community to be successful. And of course, just for your own self, I'm doing this good thing for a good reason. And this is my reasoning. So all of that is super valid. So thank you, Opti. Really
Yeah.
good examples because I know a lot of people they ask these questions. How can I do this? How can I get better at this? So wonderful. You just listen to it. If you need to rewind back to the video, do it now. Do it now. And on top of good examples, what advice would you give someone that wants to start their first campaign with Tiltify?
I think it's gonna sound really, really cliche. It's the same advice I'd give to somebody who wants to start streaming, and it's just do it. Go live for that first time with your fundraiser. It doesn't necessarily matter if you don't hit the goal on the first day or over the entire campaign. It matters exactly why you're doing it and that you're doing it at all. Because taking that one step forward is a huge leap forward into supporting something you're passionate about and want to show your community that you want to give back and you want to, do more, not necessarily within your own community, but globally, locally, internationally, wherever it be, um, and really broaden what it is that you're doing.
I love it. Just do it. And I'm telling you, me and Opti, we have learned since our first fundraiser, okay? And especially with Tiltify just changing over the years, we've had so many more platform tools to use. So I'm telling you, just do it and have fun and make sure that you are prepared too. Um, and you know what? We could talk a little bit about how we prepare for charity streams because Opti is probably one of the best people to talk to. Opti goes above and beyond in everything that he does
Wow.
graphics, setting up the charity stream, incentives, milestones, everything. Can you share a little bit about how you prepare for your charity streams?
So, my charity planning would normally start at least like a month, month and a half in advance by scheduling in
See?
dates and things like that as to when I want to do it, how long I want to do it for, that kind of thing. And then as we approach closer, create the campaign. And then as we approach that kind of like week, 2 weeks before the actual start date, that's when I'd start working on things like graphics, videos, finding assets online, reaching out to the charity themselves, like we discussed, and reaching out for stories and assets and things like that. Spending a lot of time on the milestones and the rewards, I think, is one thing that I absolutely love doing. I love coming up with like really silly ideas for milestones and rewards. It's fantastically fun, but yeah, I pour a fair bit of time into pretty much every fundraiser that I do, and
Mhm.
I would, yeah, encourage you to do the same, to spend a little bit of time on making a little banner for your Twitter page, or your Instagram page, or your Instagram story, or whatever. And a lot of these charities as well do provide assets for your own pages, for your Instagram stories, and for your Twitter and whatnot. So utilize what you have given to you by these organizations.
Absolutely. I see. I told you he takes his time because it really shows in the end product. Okay, Opti makes wonderful graphics, and yeah, you could do it in Canva. Okay, you can literally do it in Canva for free.
Yep.
Make a cute graphic. Okay, it does not have to be super professional. Just you need your channel link, your goal, who you're fundraising for, boom, that's it. And again, just preparing and sharing with your community in advance so they can prepare their wallets or their energy or hype, whatever it is super important. So thank you for sharing, Opti.
Yeah.
And you talked about cool incentives. Okay, there's a couple that I have on my brain that you have already done, but if you could share with us some of your favorites you've done with your
Oh,
community, I would love to hear
geez.
it.
Oh, there's so many. How much time have we got? 'Cause, there's quite a few.
Come on. You can really influence everyone that's
Well,
listening, so come
my
on.
my favorite single, say, dollar donation kind of incentives would be I love doing, like, exercise themed ones. I'm not somebody who exercises super frequently, so my audience absolutely love to see me struggle to do things like squats, and it's as much as I don't like doing them, it's a lot of fun. It's a part of the experience and whatnot. Bean Boozled's one of my all-time favorites, of course. I think almost everyone uses Bean Boozled, but it's such a classic, and it's pretty simple to do. You just eat a bean and hope that it's good. But in terms of like bigger picture milestone style ones, I love doing things that necessarily are maybe more community specific kind of thing, not necessarily just like, oh, we're going to do a Just Dance stream or whatever, because I've done that in the past and that's super fun. But in recent years, I've molded it more to be more for my audience, where it's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go and stream an old Sims game or whatever for a few streams if we get to $1,000 raised. Or, we're going to do this really fun challenge stream or whatever, where I will absolutely be paying for 4 hours of my life, but we'll have done a really great job for charity. I just recently last year we did the 100 baby challenge, and that was a challenge that I said I'd never do, but I said I'd do it if we hit this amount for charity, and we did it last year. So that was 2 months of my life was quite chaotic.
So, with you playing Sims, have you tried crowd control with The Sims yet?
Yes. Yeah, I absolutely have, and that is something that I absolutely will be using every charity season going forward. It is so much fun. I use it when I'm not charity fundraising as well, and it's
Mhm.
so much fun just to let your audience in and control your game for a couple hours at a time. It is so much fun. I cannot like
Ah,
speak highly enough of it.
no, crowd control really changed the game of fundraising 100%, especially for
Mm.
speedrunners. And yeah, I've had my time with Dark Souls
Oh
and crowd
no.
control. Um,
I'm not
yeah.
even brave enough to play Dark Souls without crowd control. So like I'll give you 10 points there because I don't have that energy in me.
And Opti, you know how I am when I play my games. So yeah, that was fun. It was fun. It was fun, and we were fundraising. So hey, I'll do it again. Yes, awesome. Okay, I'm so happy you tried crowd control with The Sims. I can't wait to see you next time. Yay! And on top of things that you have planned for the future and for next time, do you have any fun charity streams planned or any fun projects that you want
Oh,
to share with our
man.
community?
Well, I plan to do, the St. Jude fundraiser that I've done every year since 2018. This will be year 6 now, I think, which is
Woo!
kinda wild to think about. But I think this year, one thing that I'd really like to do is I had this idea a little while ago that I wanna do some kind of, like, event within ANZ for Australia, New Zealand specific cancer charity and make a huge ANZ community streamer event out of it. It's, I think, a goal. It may not necessarily happen this year, maybe next year. I don't know,
Mhm,
but something that I'd certainly love to do, because like we talked about with the team before, being on that other
mhm.
side and helping, be a part of something a little bit bigger and a whole team wide effort was really awesome and really special experience, and something that I think I'd love to do again now that say I have a little bit more of a deeper connection to a couple local charities here in Australia. So
Absolutely. I love that. Well,
yeah,
speaking of teens, you might have some fun new stuff to play with on Tiltify. That's all I'm gonna say.
okay.
Speaking of teams, so you might feel influenced to do it this
Okay,
year,
good.
So yeah, we have some fun stuff coming. So yeah,
Awesome.
keep your eyes peeled. It's gonna be really exciting. But Opti, you have been wonderful. Thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much for
you.
chatting with me. I
Thank you for
have
having me.
one last question, and it's gonna be very, very sweet. I already know it. So if you had to write a note to your community to thank them, what would it say?
Oh, oh, wow. We're getting into the really, like, sentimental stuff. Oh boy.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. Well, I think I'd say something along the lines of, "Thank you for supporting me during the high periods and the low periods, because 'cause there's been a lot of both. Thank you for allowing me to be able to create a life that I've I love getting to do what I do, and thank you for supporting every single charity fundraiser we do, every single effort that I put out, whether it be for St. Jude, To Write Love in Our Arms, whoever it is. Uh, Thank you for supporting that and making an impact beyond what you know, because we've been able to do so much over these last, what, 7 years now, something like that.
Mhm.
That's weird thinking how long that is. We've been able to do so much, and I'm very grateful that I'm able to be a part of that, even a small part of that.
Absolutely. That's so sweet. I love it. That's my favorite thing to ask. It's so sweet. I love it. Opti, you're amazing. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank you.
chatting with me. I really appreciate you and I miss you so much. And I'm
Mm.
always rooting for you
Oh,
every
thank you.
single step of the way. And the whole Tiltify team and community sends your mom love. And we're
Oh,
always
thank
thinking about her
you.
too. So thank you, love. Now you just have to tell our community where they can find you on socials. And we're off.
You can find me at ximOpti virtually anywhere: Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. Opti plays on YouTube as well. Yeah, pretty much everywhere there. Or if you want the one website, optilive.com.au has everything you need.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody, for
Thank
watching.
you.
We'll see you next week. Bye.